Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I made a video on amateur radio, uh, and I have been pretty involved in one way or the other with music. And today, anyway, quickly coming back to my topic of this video, I'd like to do a demo of, tuning demo of the Acom 1500 that you see here, 1500. And as you know, this needs a 3-minute tube filament heat up. So let me just switch it on, and then so that as it heats up, it's warming up now, you can see. So as it heats up, I can explain a few things about what I have here in my shack. And coming back to this rig, I bought it almost new. It was still under warranty. I think hardly used for about 6 to 8 months. And I was getting it I had advertised on one of the US websites, and a person called up from there, and he offered it at a good price from Michigan. So one weekend, I drew up along with my family. We went all the way from Toronto. It was winter, January, I think around 8th of January 2017, and picked it up in its original case. And my children also had a very good time at his QTH, an older gentleman, and having a lot of guns in his house. And the children were very excited, and he even gave a demo of you know some of his guns. Target practice. He had a very big backyard, so we had a lot of fun. And meanwhile, anyway, we picked this up and drove back the same evening. Now that's the story of this. But for almost 2 years now, I have been sort of away from amateur radio because of one thing or the other. Uh, so this has been sitting idle for a long time. Matter of fact, just 2 days ago, I switched on all the rigs. I have a collection of some of the classic radios and amps here. Uh, I thought I was just postponing it because I wanted to use a Variac to bring them up. Eventually, I did, and switched on everything, including the TL922, which you see here, TL922A amplifier. Everything is up and running, full power. But the Acom, I thought, let me just uh, not many videos of the Acom 1500, so I thought let me add mine. Matter of fact, I wanted to do a video on amateur radio. I thought this is a good opportunity. So it's almost now 42 seconds left. And what I have here is, uh, I'll do a close up. I have a switch selector for dummy load and antennas, which is not visible in the camera here. And now I have chosen dummy load. It was on dipole. I have two antennas. One is a dipole and another for all the bands and all the HF bands. And I have a HEX-BEAM. Um, and so this switch selector, actually I can choose a dummy load. I have oil filled as well as the old ones up to a 1.5 kilowatts. So it's at the back, the dummy load, and the switch selector is on the dummy load. And this selector switch here, it selects up to 6 rings. I have, as you can see here, the left one, this is an FT101 Zulu Delta, and this is an FT1, a classic rig. We all have a lot of history behind it. Purchased a tech special and repaired it, and working flawlessly. And this is an FT301. Let me just, yeah, this is an FT301 with a matching power supply and speaker. I also have the external VFO for this, and you can see the dust. I haven't touched it for a long time. And also, yeah, external VFO and something else I have along with this. But because of space issues, I just have the external power supply, and I use this power supply for powering up other things as well in the shack. And this is the TL922A, the classic old bands. What is that? 1.8 megahertz, 3.5. 14 and 21. So that I have. And the antenna tuner which I use is an ICOM 8500, IC 8500, which you see right at the, yeah, that one. Although it is rated at 500 watts, I have actually, without any issues, I have used it at kilowatt PEP. No issues at all. It has been working with me in my shack for a long time. And the rotator, I use an old, what is that, CDE rotator. So it's doing a good job. No issues with that. And these are just my monitoring. This is my forward and reflected power. This is an old FC902, which I use it in between. There's a smaller dummy load here on top, and this dummy load I use it to tune my tube final rigs, and that is where I see the forward power and the reflected here. And then I switch on the amplifier and then bypass this. It doesn't. It's a through actually. Even when this is the final power. The top one is the final power output of the amplifier. So this measures the final power. This measures the drive to the amplifier, and that's a basic setup. And my amp is heated up now. It's ready. And the rig I'm going to use today for testing is I forgot to mention, this is the ICOM 745. It's been with me for a long time. Again, all these are tech specials except for these two rigs. The TL922 came in mint condition with Taylor tubes, 3-500 Zulu 22 tubes. And this is, of course, it was still under warranty when I purchased. Otherwise, the rest of the things are all tech special. And I do have a 10-tech Argonaut 5 mint condition, not a tech special. I got it in good working condition. It's been sitting there. Once in a while I use it. I do have a collection of ICOM 703s and other rigs as well. So there's no place on the shack table. And what you see here, these are two switches. Essentially, I can choose the amplifier. I can choose 3 amplifiers. So by rotating the knobs on the top, that is the in and the out. So I just need to, probably there are better switches available, but this is what I had and I'm using it. So switches in and out. So that way I can choose 3 amplifiers. Right now, the 3 amps that I have connected are the Acom, the TL922, and the last position is a solid state 500 watt amplifier. It's a marine amplifier. Picked it up from, we have a shipbreaking yard in India, and I picked it up from there. And it's a 500 watt solid state. Was used. I forgot the name of the company. It was used in, I think, a ship, and got it at a good price. It had 1 or 2 issues. The relays were not working. The band change relays were not working, and I just replaced those, and it's been working. I have actually mounted it behind the operating desk because it's a sort of a wall mount. So convenient, and it is not taking up any desk space. It's at the back of the table here. It's a metal table. So I mounted there. So I have 3 amplifiers which I can switch at any time. 1 solid state and 2 tube amplifiers. And I also have I even sometimes forget the name, but for almost 2 years I have not been using. I have a 6 foot rack amplifier here, totally tech special, which I repaired it from scratch, totally overall. It can give a kilowatt, something similar to a 4CX1000 alpha, something similar to that. That's a tube. Gives a kilowatt all day long, 24/7, 365 days, no issues. It's a little loud. One of these days, I will do a demo on that. And it's more of a classic collection than for regular use because the blower noise is very high. And besides that, it consumes a lot of power operating. So my go-to rig is the solid state amp. Anytime quick QSO, I can just turn it on and then immediately go on the band. Even the TL922 is a quick rig. No waiting time for the filaments to heat up. Whereas this fellow, it takes 3 minutes. Even, of course, even the rig here, this also takes 3 minutes to warm up. There's a timer, and even this has a timer. Okay, and the rig which I'm using now today for testing is the ICOM 745. It's on 20-meter band, and I did check. Everything is okay. I'll just key down, and then we'll see what happens. 2 days ago, I already tested, so the knob should be already in the correct position. But nevertheless, you'll be able to see the TRI. That is what they call true resistance indicator. The TRI indicator is very helpful in quick tune of the Acom. Many of the Acom tube amplifiers. In fact, they use the same principle. So now everything is on. The antenna selector is on the dummy load, and the amp selection there at this here is on the Acom 1500. And I have, okay, by the way, I forgot to mention, this is a FT902DM, totally loaded. Again, a tech special. This is my second one, actually. Many years ago at Dayton Hamvention, I picked up a very good 902DM, kept it for a while, then somebody gave it away. Then again, I got the interest back in the 902. In fact, I purchased the 902 and the FT1, two pieces, totally three pieces together, two of this FT1 and one of the 902DM for a song, I would say, from a club. Silent Keys, I think XYL had gifted it to the club, and they were not able to, for whatever reason, bring it back, bring it on the air. I took it as a, thought, let me just spend a winter and then repair. It didn't take long. This had a few ICs to be replaced, and which I did. Even this had a few issues, which I did it. They're all working well. These are all classic. When I was a young boy, these were the top grade rigs, and that is the reason I'm very attached to these rigs. So this is on, and we are in SSB. I'll just switch over to CW. Now I'm in CW, but dummy load, so the frequency really doesn't matter, although I'm on 14.206 megahertz. And then Vox should go on. And this is the key. I'm using the bencher key here. This is the key here. So Vox is on, and the power is mid. In fact, in this 745, I have set the output to not go beyond 50 watts, just to be on the safe side. Because as you guys know, the finals are not available, so I don't want to blow up the final. And besides, with all the amps here, I really don't need to push my HF rigs to its maximum limit. So this is done, and this is not in operation mode. So let me just key down and then see if it works. So essentially, this meter here, the top meter, it should tell me the power output. That's the meter there. Now, turn on the volume. So as you can see, it's very low output. Yeah, it's about 5 watts output. I'll increase the drive. Power. Okay. It's about 10, close to 10 watts. 20. It's about 10 watts output. I know it's a little difficult on the camera, but the peak indication is around 20 watts. It's the third scale, the bottommost scale. It's in 20 watts range. It's indicating 10 watts output. So let me just turn on the keyer to begin with. Okay, so that's it. Now, so far is right only from the 745, and this is still in standby mode. So I'll put it in operation, and antenna selector is in 1. It has 3 antenna sockets, SO239 at the back. I'm just using one antenna here because I do have a separate antenna switch for that, different antennas. So I leave it at 1, and then I'll go to operate, and it's on dummy load, and that is capable of about 1.5, better than 1.5 kilowatts of RF power. But let me see, I don't normally run my amps or rigs at full power, even on a dummy load. Sometimes while testing, yes, I do. And let me see if I can key down. It should, yeah. So you can see even the power here. Let me change it, I forgot. Change it to at least 200. Yeah, so there is some power. The input is 10 watts, okay? And let me, I hope you can see it. I'll adjust tune for maximum output. And this one, load should be adjusted so that the I do not see any arrow marks on either side of the exclamatory mark or the center line. It looks like an exclamatory mark. Actually, it's a center line. There should not be any arrow mark. Now, yeah, there is nothing. So if I actually touch this, you can see the arrow mark. So it is there. So it's in the center. I can adjust this also. Normally what I do is when I adjust the output, I can also use the, I can switch to forward power and then even peak it to forward power. Or since I have a peak reading meter here, I normally use this to tune. Even this we can use for maximum power. Yeah. Now with about 10 watts input, I'm getting 240 watts output. Now let us go back. It has many measurements. I think some of the videos you can clearly see that it has. The display is really useful. You can go to reflected power. Let me see what nothing. It's 0 reflected power. Then it has output power. Yep, 240 watts. Antenna VSWR 1, and it has RF dry power. What is the dry power? Yeah, showing 10 watts. Yeah, 10 watts it is showing. And let me go back to the main screen, and let me increase power a little bit. At the same time, I'll peak for the maximum reading on this meter. So at the moment, I'm not using the antenna tuner because the output is connected to my dummy load. Let me peak it. It is giving maximum output, but I need to match this for best results. So I'll increase it to 2 kilowatt, the scale in this one, because we are going beyond the 200 watt range. It is giving, about in the top range. Although it may not be very well calibrated. It is showing in the top range it is 100 watts, but I know for sure that is in the it's more than 200 watts output. And I'll increase the drive power now. And let me remove the, I'll go on like a straight key, and then now you should be able to see. Okay, you can see it's centered here and not changing. It's a little finicky. You need to be very careful with the movement, and that's the output. So again, as I said, I'm not really running it at full power, and let me put it in SSB mode. I'll change this rig to ICOM 745 to SSB. So I'm on USB now, and so let me see if I whistle and there should be a good output. You can see there is plenty of output. So let me go to forward power. (1,700 watts). If you are able to see that. So in the vicinity of 1,700 watts PEP, forward power. Let me go to reflected power. There is some reflected. It's an oil can dummy. So let me go to output power now. Output power is the forward minus the reflected. About 1,500 watts. And the drive power at that moment will be drive out power. Yeah, it is peaking to 60 watts, 50-60 watts max. And with 50-60 watts input, you can see that it is going over 1.5 kilowatt output power. So there we have my ICOM. Sorry, I mean the Acom 1500, and it's working well. One of these days I will do a quick demo of the TL922, but then TL922 there are plenty of videos. Even Acom we have a few, generally very short videos, but today I just thought of for those interested to see what I have in my shack, at least some of the things. On the other side of the desk I have a lab table. It's a repair bench where I have my Tektronix and HP signal generators and spectrum analyzers, oscilloscopes, and even a microscope for SMT rework. So those are the things that I have. Anyway, let me just power it down now. Go out of operation. That's it. So that's it, guys, for today. Thank you very much for your time and watching my video. Bye-bye.